This is Henry Kaiser Auditorium in Oakland, California, the site of Dead shows since 1979. It's a special place because it's one of the smaller venues the Dead play. It's also special to me because I live in the Bay Area, and I'd hate to see these doors closed to myself and other Deadheads. But that just might happen, and that could happen to your favorite venue. So we need to proceed with caution and take a serious look at the situation. The community surrounding Kaiser Auditorium is made up of a quiet residential neighborhood, a community college, and a small park. This is how it looks now, but the view will change when it is descended upon by thousands of Deadheads, and the neighborhood will be watching. Local residents are upset with Deadheads who show up weeks before the show and treat the neighborhood as if it were a campground. During the upcoming shows in February, this park will be filled with the Deadhead marketplace. This traditional Deadhead scene has always been a place where people feel free to be who they are and do what they want. Because of the recent popularity of the band, the scene now contains new fans who aren't used to this kind of freedom and don't realize the importance of their impact on the local environment. The promoter for the Kaiser shows is Bill Graham Presents. BGP spokesman Brian Auger talked about the danger of losing this venue.
Well, it's been at stake for the last 3 or 4 sets of shows we've done there. It's not just this time, it's been several times, and we've put out flyers stating that fact. And it has gotten better, but the neighborhood's a real watchdog now because obviously they've had their ears pricked to a situation. They're going to watch that. And the neighborhood's been very tolerant, but yeah, it's at stake. If something really bad happens there with crowd control or too many people hanging out or garbage, etc., we could lose that place because they've been to the Oakland City Council and it came to a very close vote that they were going to stop having Dead shows there, period.
This story isn't just about Kaiser. Many venues are at stake.
It's too many people that don't have tickets just hanging out and causing problems. That, of course, creates garbage, people not picking up after themselves.
Kaiser is located in the middle of downtown Oakland and there is limited parking. This year, parking will be even more difficult since the Laney College parking lot will not be available during the Monday and Tuesday shows. To avoid the parking mess, consider these options. You can ride with friends, take BART, or a taxi. If you do drive, plan to arrive early and be sure to park legally. The police will give out tickets. A large source of community complaints are the ticketless people who hang around after the show is started. Therefore, BGP is asking vendors to shut down and leave the park as soon as the music begins.
But once the show begins, there's really no reason for them to continue vending because obviously the show is for the concert goers and I would hope that the vending's for the same thing, and so we've asked them to shut down when the show starts.
Once again, the park is off limits to campers.
We go through the park and sweep, and basically the curfew is an hour or so after the show, and there is no camping at the park across the street from the Henry Kaiser.
If you haven't got a ticket by the time the show starts, do everyone a favor and go home. Please remember, gate crashing is uncool at all times. People can get injured, and it increases the chances that the band will not be invited back.
If you have a ticket, great. Come down, enjoy the scene because it's a great scene, and come to the show. If you think you're going to get a ticket, great, you're welcome. But once the show begins, if you don't have a ticket, there's no reason to hang around because the more people that hang around, it just causes a problem, and it affects everybody.
Brian gave his suggestions for how to have a good time and still respect the neighborhood.
Well, what I'd do is I'd find a legal parking space the night of the show, you know, accordingly being a ticket holder, of course. And I'd probably ride in with a bunch of friends, park, leave my car, and go to the show. But I wouldn't come in days before the show. I wouldn't make a lot of noise or party around the car like some people do. And I'm not talking about a great number of people, but it doesn't take much to affect the conditions and environment of a neighborhood.
The problem of being insensitive to the environment and to the privacy of local residents has inspired a group of concerned Deadheads to work out ways to resolve the situation. The group is known as the Minglewood Town Council. Their motto is, anyone who wants to be on the town council is. Their efforts include distributing colorful flyers and stickers designed to raise the consciousness of the Deadhead community. So the next time you go to a show, try to be aware of the environment around you If you see some trash, pick it up. If someone is lost, lend a hand. If we play our cards right, we can all win. The Deadhead scene is very special, and you have to do your part to see that it lasts. There's a price for being free.